the victory. We come down to the super heavyweights. Dominick Guinn of the United States, Alexei Lezin of Russia. Lezin at 223, Guinn 214. He's 3 years older. Each man is 6'3". Lezin, rather, ranked number 3 in the world right now.
So this will be a tough place for the United States to get a victory against someone like Lezin, who has been around forever, it seems, for the Russians.
Now, Al Mitchell, in our conversations with him, the American coach, he told us this should be the fight of the evening.
Right-handed check.
He feels that Guinn can battle the Russian.
Lezin has an odd style. He holds his right hand extended, hands up very high, right hand extended, to try to keep the opponent almost mesmerized with that right hand in front of him.
It is a very unusual stance.
Don't reach your hands out. Sometimes we're correct. Get on your toes.
Guinn has had, Lezin has had an outstanding amateur career dating back to his international experience beginning in 1992. But take a look at some of the opponents that he's beaten through the years. Lance Whitaker a couple of times, now a successful pro. Ed Mahone a couple of times, now a successful pro. He split a pair of fights with Lawrence Claybay. And in the Olympic Games, lost on points to Vladimir Klitschko in the semifinals for a silver medal.
Each man has had his problems with the Cuban Alexis Rubalcaba. Lezin lost to him in the World Championships, while Guinn lost to him in the Goodwill Games. Rubalcaba, for years, considered to be the best amateur super heavyweight, despite the fact that he came up empty in the Olympic Games.
The Russian more active so far than Dominick Guinn. Bouncing around that ring, doing most of his fighting with that lead right hand of his.
Showing fairly good quickness, good feet. Not your plodding, even though he is upright, he doesn't seem to be your plodding upright European heavyweight.
Make him fight. Make him fight, Dominick.
223 pounds for the Russian, 214 for the American fighter. These are not real big men as super heavyweights go.
A lot of posing going on here in this first round. Dominick Guinn not doing much business at all.
No, he's not getting off at all, Barry, and the Russian has been confusing him with that jab, that right hand, that lead, which he holds out extended or down sometimes below his waist. And he's moving around the ring, I think, very effectively, showing a lot of ring generalship here.
Step back, right there. Get stuff on your right hand. Cut him off. And your right hand for the check. Quick, quick.
Guinn's got to get busy.
Yeah, not doing anything here in this first round. Took a right hand right on the button from Lezin. End of the first round. Back to the corner with Dominick Guinn, and I'm sure Al Mitchell's speech will be do something.
Listen to me, young man. You cannot sit out there and wait for a guy to hit you first. Second, the right hands and hooks is there. You have to throw your right hand. Either you go in with the double jab, throw the right hand. You have to be first. You're letting him be first. You like a statue. And what's the problem?
And meanwhile, Lezin, who I thought showed some pretty good feet in that first round for a big man.
Yes, very mobile, moved around that ring. He's very light on his feet, in fact.
But weeknights at 6 and midnight, it's The Last Word with Jim Rome in L.A. and a live studio audience at the All-Star Cafe in New York. It's Epic Sports Talk, bi-coastal and interactive. Join Romey as he mixes it up with the biggest names in sports. It's The Last Word, weeknights at 6 and midnight on Fox Sports Net. I'm sure Alexei Lezin will be watching The Last Word. Trying to have The Last Word, as a matter of fact, right now.
And I mentioned how Lezin lost in the semifinals of the Olympic Games to Vladimir Klitschko. He had beaten him the year before in the World Championships to win the World Championship.
Well, there's that score, 2-2, and
well, I think that the Russian got shorted in that round.
I do too.
Gee whiz. He was a lot busier than Guinn and landed a lot more punches.
Remember, two of the three judges have to agree. This is a very confusing style, the way he paws with that right hand.
And I think it's been so confusing for Guinn that he just hasn't been able to launch his punches. He's been kind of waiting and watching. Basically, in the amateur ranks, ring generalship doesn't count for anything.
There's a good right hand by the Russian. Lezin was knocked out by Alexei Rubalcaba in the World Championship. That came in the quarterfinals.
Dominick, another one of the American fighters attending Northern Michigan University. And it is there, of course, that they can be coached by Al Mitchell. They've got a real team thing going.
That's a good combination again by the Russian. The left hand followed by a right.
And Guinn seems to be falling into that pattern again where he's just not throwing punches. He's watching.
And standing right in front of Lezin.
Well, this is what can happen in an amateur bout, though. I see this fight as he's warned by the Russian official Yevgeny Sudakov for a low blow. I would see this fight, just a normal judging pattern as a one-sided fight for the Russian. But it's very close in amateur boxing.
And trying to get off, but struggling a little bit.
It's a good jab. And he throws it from different places because he starts his right jab, sometimes down low, sometimes up very high.
You can see his right hand now down at his hip.
Dominick, you can't wait. Right hand.
Lezin just kind of picks his spots as we are inside of 10 seconds remaining in this second round, and from our perch, the Russian seems to be in control.
The instant he understands the difference between winning and losing, that's when he'll know he wants to be a champion. Join USA Boxing's Ring Corner Club and help support the best in Olympic-style boxing. Your membership entitles you to a free Ring Corner Club collector's pin and an official club card. To join, call USA Boxing and help these young athletes become true champions.
Catch the East Division champion Kicks as they tear up the turf at the First Union Spectrum. Join Kicks favorites Don D'Ambra, Kevin Sloan, and Peter Pappas, along with NPSL Defender of the Year Matt Knowles, on Saturday, November 28th, as they crush the Montreal Impact. Season, mini, birthday, and family plans are available through the Kicks at 1-888.
We welcome you back, and surprise of surprises, the judges have seen this fight in favor of Dominick Guinn.
Well, they gave credit to Lezin for landing one punch in the previous round. In my mind, as I just take a look at the fight, and again, we're watching and judging along with, but not scoring it by electronic scoring ourselves. It seems to me like Lezin is in control of the fight, control of the tempo, control of everything.
Well, in any case, I can tell you he's landed more than 3 punches. I promise you that.
So, somebody alert the authorities. There's a robbery in progress. 1 Adam 12, 411 in progress. There's a good body punch by the Russian. Lezin, very experienced fighter. Mentioned he was fighting back in USA-Russia duels all the way back in 1992. In those days, defeating Reginald Blackman and David Bostis. The following year, defeating Lance Whitaker and Rodney Harris. He probably feels he's defeating Dominick Guinn with ease here tonight, but that is not the case.
Yes, imagine the surprise on his face.
I thought there was an outrageous decision in the second bout this evening, which favored the Russian fighter Ilfat Ratsiapov over Roberto Benitez, which I thought Benitez deserved. So this could be the evener.
Well, in an amateur boxing, you very rarely see the fighters question a decision. There'll be disappointment in their face, certainly, but not outright questioning the decision. And this round, very much like the others, Lezin more active than the American.
There was a nice punch by Guinn. He got that left hand out there, and he caught Lezin in midair with it.
And a right hand by Guinn. And now he's got Lezin backing up. Both.
Guinn is getting some of his shots home in this round.
That's actually a better round for him, even though in the eyes of the judges he won the first two.
I think Lezin is getting very wary. I think he's tasting some of the power of Guinn here.
And that's it, and now we'll see. Guinn doesn't look the part of a winner, does he? Let's take a look in round number 2, a round in which they scored 1 point for Lezin.
That basically means one scoring punch, according to the judges. You saw a left counter right hand from Guinn there. Couple of right hands there by Lezin. Good body blow there by Lezin. That left hand to the body, I have a feeling that was probably the one punch he got credit for.
Might have been. And when we come back, we will have the official word on this one. This in the super heavyweight division. Dominick Guinn for the United States. Alexei Lezin for Russia. We're coming back. We welcome you back to Foxwoods Resort and Casino, and we'll remind you that every weeknight it's the Ultimate Fan League on Fox Sports Net. Join host Bill Dwyer for the freshest, funniest, and most irreverent sports game show you've ever seen. The Ultimate Fan League, weeknights at 5:30 and 12:30 right here on Fox Sports Net. Once more to Jeffrey Dressler for the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, I have the judges scoring, and here it is. Your winner, in the red corner, representing Team Russia, Alexei Lezin.
Well, Lezin won it, but I think if Dominick Guinn thought for a moment that he was ahead after the first 2 rounds, he'd probably be as surprised as anybody.
Yes, and now making the presentation to the winner and loser. You see just to the, on our screen right, that's Tyrell Biggs, who you recognize from the 1984 Olympic Games. Went on to fight in the professional ranks. In fact, while a professional, fought the referee of the match you just saw.
Goes around, comes around, doesn't it? We're going to jump off the track. We've still got a lot more action to come. United States versus Russia, and the Russians